we wanted to include a lot of new technologies that a lot of high school students never really get the opportunity to use, and then once they get to college, they don't really have the experience with that. So a lot of these technologies that we're going to use this grant money to buy are extremely expensive and specialized, but they'll give students extremely valuable opportunities. So for example, some of the things that we plan on doing are nucleic acid extraction and having like a genetic section that's dedicated to genetic analysis. And in truth, like as a student, that's really cool. Like we learn about like a lot of this stuff. We learn about gel electrophoresis in class. We just learned about it, and we learn about a lot of different things that we don't technically get to apply. So this is a thermal cycler, and you can do PCR with it. So there's some chemicals that we need to buy and some materials that we can use to basically replicate DNA. So if you've ever heard of like COVID PCR testing, basically what that is they're taking a swab of your nose and they're replicating the virus to see if it's there. It was developed by Kary Mullis a couple decades ago, and it's become a really important part of genetic analysis. So with gel electrophoresis and then PCR and then a nucleic acid extraction, we plan on like giving a comprehensive set of tools that kids can use to do things with literal genetic information, DNA.
So I think it's applying abstract concepts that students don't really get to experience or see, and kind of, being able to actually see that live and see how that works. And besides all the genetics points and all like the super sciencey things, if you're a plant person, you're a plant person like me, and we have little ecosystem things set up too. So it's really for everyone to explore their own interests, and we are open to keep adding things based on the interests that people are displaying.
We also wanted to make sure that since our school emphasizes the mental wellness of our student body so much, we wanted to ensure that our room would allow a safe space for students, and we feel like students with an interest in biology and plants in general would find this room with a super relaxing atmosphere and allow them to be creative. And yeah.
So taking out the stress of the classroom and the stress of like a looming test, and just giving them the chance to explore with these different technologies, whatever experiments they want to do, things they want to discover. And it's not just limited to like, okay, this is the procedure for this is what you're going to do, and you're going to learn this from this. It's also like a potential for discovery. These are materials that people use in actual labs to discover new things, not just doing something someone else has already done. So designing procedures and doing new things is definitely one of the intentions that we had for this when we were coming up with it.
And you learn from your mistakes. I mean, like penicillin came from a mistake, and it's like the best thing we have. So, it is what it is.
Antibiotics, fun.
Not saying you're gonna make penicillin here, but
It's an opportunity to create your own experimental procedures.
Yeah, and I think that the other point of this space is, we being a charter, like, have limited space and access to, a grander facility. So really maximizing the current spaces that we have that really help innovate and inspire the future generation to focus on research in biology. So I'm kind of thinking, having some level of independent studies that run through this lab where, you have an interest in a specific area, whether it's genetics or botany, and you're exploring it on your own schedule to really tailor that educational experience to your needs as a learner.
There's this thing called aquaponics. Mr. Valenti actually brought up the idea first. And aquaponics is a sustainable agriculture method. And we want to explore how using that sustainable agriculture and other sustainable agriculture methods can improve like food production, agricultural methods. It's really an idea that fell perfectly into place if you think about it. It's one of those things that when you come up with it, immediately you're like, okay, wait, I actually kind of like want to do that. That's kind of fun.
Also, the fact that it's right in between the two bio rooms is kind of perfect.
Yeah.
So whenever a class wants to have a lab, they could just walk in and perform it, and then walk right back into their classroom.